Hi, and welcome back to Behind the Mix, the remix with the cool notes. So far, we've built the rhythm, the groove, and the melody, and the chords with the keyboards. Today, we're adding something that gives this track its soul, the brass section. Oh, yeah. And I'll show you how I create the arrangements, choose the sounds, and use plugins to give the horns the energy, the character, and the help that defines the Cool Notes records. Well, should we begin? Let's get into it, shall we? Well, what I've done so far, I've got a nice rough balance of the track, just so I can work with. And now I want to try and see if I can add some energy into the track. And I've had these wonderful ideas about adding some horns to this remix version, although the original mix doesn't have it in. I want to see what it will do to this track, and so I've had some wicked, crazy ideas. I've been doing a lot of listening to some 70s records and some late 60s with a lot of brass sections in them, and I feel I need to do that because when you get to a stage like this, sometimes, well, me personally, I just sometimes don't know where I start. Where do I start? So that's where I'm at the moment. But I've been at it for 2 days. So let me take you through what I've done. Now, the plugin I like to use for my brass, I've got a couple, but I like to use this one personally. I love it. My go-to plugin for this arrangement I'm going to do today is contact and session horns. I love it. There are so many different variations of how you can mismatch and match your horns. It's fantastic. Now, where I start is I start off on a very simple level. First of all, I map out my chords and I look how I can enhance the chord work that I'm doing with the brass normally. But on this particular song, I'm now going to make the brass a lot more staccato and put a lot more movement in them, because I've been listening to a few tracks and I've kind of seen how they've done that. So I'm going to be doing that today, and I'm going to start off with full horns. Now I'm using the full horn section as my start out pad because in this setup I'll have trombones, I'll have my trumpets 1 and my trumpets 2, and tenor sax all in one session. And so various parts of the keyboards will actually map that out. So for example, I have trumpets maybe here. We'll probably have trombone down here. Tenor sax somewhere in the middle, I believe. That sounds more like trumpets though, trumpets too. Then I'd start looking at how am I going to get the brass to accompany my chord work if I'm going to have them follow the chords, or in this particular case, I'm actually going to make them a bit more staccato and actually play in between and play along some of the melody of the songs to enhance it. And I've played around for quite a while with it. I listened to a lot, like I said earlier, I've listened to a lot of tracks from the 70s and 80s and just to get an idea of how the brass work works. So what I'm doing on the full brass, I'm just going to map out sections that I believe I'm going to be hearing all of the brass. So let me take you through what I've done so far. So what I've done, it's taking me a few minutes, minutes, hours really, to go through this. What I've done, I've done the main sort of melody, and I've also used certain notes with certain harmonies within the actual run, so I can highlight certain parts of the chord work. And this would be the intro. So I've used the full brass, imagining the high end and the low ends and what the instruments might do. I try to think of a brass section and how they might play it with the lower brass on one side and the higher brass on the other. And I've come up with this so far for the verse, which I actually quite like. I know you don't know the song yet, but you'll hear when we mix that in with the vocals, that's going to be a chorus there. And that actually blends in with it. So that would be my full section. So then I would then go and add 2 other sections. I'll have like a lower section. I imagine what would the trombones be doing in that same section, and also maybe the tenor saxes and mixing with trumpets. And so I've also played what I call the middle section of that run, which I will now play that one as well. And I'll show you what I've done as far as they're concerned. Now, for this middle section, as I call it, I've actually opened up another instance of contact and session horns, and I've chosen trumpet 1s and trumpets 2 for this one, which will play, as I call it, my middle section. That sort of sound, and they sound pretty good together when you actually mix them in. So I've selected certain notes that once again enhances the chord section, and I've also thought of them as how I'd like to hear brass playing should they play on their own. And this is the section I come up with the same section using just the trumpets 1 and 2. So there you go, that's the middle section, and we could actually hear them together with the full horns now, and I would have the full horns in my center, left and right, because they're actually in stereo. I would tend to put this middle section, which I call middle section trumpets now, I'd tend to probably put them slightly to the right, so they can kind of stick out, and then we get an idea of a brass band that would be, you know, spread across the stage. And that's the kind of picture I can see. So let's have a listen to both of them now. Now they start to sound realistic, don't they? They're a little bit dry at the moment. There's no effects on them, no reverb much. The actual reverb you can hear is coming from the actual program. I actually put a lot more reverb on there, a bit of delay, compressed them quite a lot. So you get that very nice tight sound. So in the actual finished mix, I tell you what, you'll struggle to believe if they're real horns or not if you do them right. They are fantastic. So now let's have a look at the third section I'll put in. And I'm going to make these a lower sounding set of horns. So this will be more trombone or maybe tenor saxy. And let's have a look at those, shall we? So I will open up another instance of contact again, and I'll select this time trombones and saxophones. So tenor sax and trombone this will be. This is my first section, a lower section. And how I actually come to playing it kind of sounds odd when you listen to it. Although what I did was I made a copy from the full horns, and I took out certain notes out of this particular section and left only notes that I thought I wanted to dominantly hear in the chord. So it sounds kind of like, what is he playing? That doesn't make sense. But when you put them together, it actually enhances the sound. And I'll tuck this one over to the left. And so that's where you get that full picture. And when they play together, I mean, you know, they blend in, and with the right kind of levels of mixing, it's amazing. So this is the lower end. These are going to be tenor saxes and trombones. Sounds odd, right? It really does. So let's put them all three in together and have a listen how they sound as the three sections together now. And so this is the intro, 8 bars, I believe it's 8 bars, yeah. And yeah, we'll have a listen to that now, and we'll see how they sound. So we've got the brass section really, really pumping. It's brought some soul into the track. It's brought a load of dynamics into the track, and it just brings the whole thing to life. I love those stabs. I love the sound it makes, and it just gives it that kind of cool note sound. It really does. Love it to bits. And I'll just end off the brass section now, just showing you how we've incorporated it into the end part of the song as the song's really kicking off. Vocals are singing and ad-libs are flying, and the whole thing's just really winding down to a crescendo. Something like this. Wow, loving it, loving it, loving it. Can't wait to mix it. That's coming soon. We're almost there now. We're almost there. So there's one final bit to this episode that I just want to introduce to you, and that's I've also got a section. Well, before I finalize everything, I'll just go through a few special effects. I haven't got too many effects in this one. I've only introduced some wind chimes, a few bells. I've introduced some reverse cymbals, and I've introduced some sound a riser. It's like it's an effect which kind of builds up to a crescendo, and I'll just quickly show you the instruments I've used and how I've done that, and we'll add them to the track, and you can probably see where they fit and why they fit where they fit. Let's have a look now, shall we? I want to start with some wind chimes, and something we've always used throughout our career. If you listen to some of our early records, I think you'll hear them featured very, very dominantly in You're Never Too Young. Still keeping them, different types. So I've got a huge library of different wind chimes. Now, these particular wind chimes, I've played them from the EXS24. Which is a sampler, and I've got a program just with loads of wind chimes and bell trees and all kind of tinkly things. I love using wind chimes because wind chimes give that nice little sparkle to the track, and that glassy sparkle tinkly thing, which sort of like just gives it more dynamics. And if you're falling asleep while listening, you hear a little bing, it wakes you up. Only joking, but yeah, I do love the tinkly sounds. They just help that finish, classy, glossy finish to your production. And I've used these wind chimes in the song. They go up and they go down. There you go. Now I've also combined them with a bell. I've got little bells that I use from the sampler as well, and I've combined the bell tree with a ting. Sounds like that, and the wind chime. They just add that gloss, like I said. I love it. I really do. So let's have a look where I've used them in the track and how I've used them. I'll put them in the intro. They're splashed all over the song, but just to give you a little taste of where they go, listen to this. Adds that little bit of class, doesn't it? Love them. They sound really cool. They're out of the mix. Obviously, the levels are wrong, but you just need to blend these in very gently because they really do, on very small speakers and very quiet. When you've got the speakers very quietly, these do really ring through. So you've got to be very careful how you use them in the mix. Now, one of the effects I love using on different songs is a plugin called Riser. It's made by Air Music Technology, and it's an amazing, it's got so many different presets and instant sounding effects, rising, falling, noises. You can make any kind of sound you want. There's loads of different presets. I'll give you a little demonstration. Watch this. You can change the settings. You can change any of the many presets they have, like this. I mean, you get that. You can see where that goes. You just go through them and pick one that suits you. So I've used this one in the track, and it gives me that little build up towards, you think something's coming, you know something's coming. And in this particular song, we've used it here. I've used that sound. So that's the riser, and I've used it throughout the track here and there, and I've picked spots for it where I bring them in and out. Some go down, some go up. Previously we heard the one going down, but this is going up, and it sounds like this. This is the up riser. Yeah, so you can splash them out wherever you like. And I've used it in this part of the song, the riser kind of like this. Let's do the bridge. That's taking us into the bridge. Then I'm going to use it again as we come out. I mean, so you get that, don't you? So you can use them where you like, and there's thousands of different sounds, and of course you can edit the instrument as well, and you can tailor it, time it to how you want it. It's an excellent plugin, Riser, and that's made by Air Music Technologies. A really, really good plugin. I recommend it. I really do. And another effect I like using is you can use it very cleverly. I've just took a basic, simple cymbal, and I've just reversed the pattern. So I get a cymbal crash. I get a crash cymbal with a nice crescendo, and a big powerful smash or crash, and I reverse it, and then I use it and place it in various parts of the songs. It also helps the build up. I use this mainly in the drum section, but I would say it comes under my effects as well. So it goes a bit like this, my reverse cymbal. And I don't know if you heard the spins on it, and I put an echo on the end, so it does the time it up. And it's a nice effect, it really works well. And that's basically all I've got as far as effects go. That's all I've got in this song. So we've covered the brass, 3 different levels, the high, the mids, and the lower end of the brass. I've done a few effects. Well, I think that's basically it for the instrumentation. We've got everything we need in the track now. They're all over the place. I know at the moment we're not mixed. That's coming pretty soon. I can't wait for that. Vocals are going to be next. And I'm going to leave you right now with what we've got so far. You're going to hear most of the stuff that we've covered. And I will see you in the next one. Oh, yeah. Let's have a listen now. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, yeah. Ciao.